Today we're diving into something that's absolutely critical for any food and beverage operation: how the most successful leaders master cost control.
So let me ask you a question. Where are your profits silently disappearing? It's a tough one, right? Because in the F&B world, with its razor-thin margins, profit doesn't just vanish into thin air. No, it leaks away, quietly, often right under your nose. The real trick is knowing where to look. Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm your hotel AI expert, and it's my pleasure to guide you on this online learning journey with Europe Hotel School. The principles we're covering today are absolutely fundamental to modern hospitality operations, and they're key to your professional growth in this demanding industry. So here's our game plan. First, we'll pinpoint that hidden profit leak. Then, we'll define the baseline we need to measure it. From there, we'll get into the two critical control systems, for waste and for theft. And finally, we'll see why mastering all this is a true mark of leadership. Okay, first up, let's pull back the curtain on this invisible problem that can seriously hurt a business's bottom line. The industry has a name for this problem: profit leakage. Now, you're not going to find this as a line item on your P&L statement. It's the gap, the difference between what you should be spending and what you are spending. And that gap, well, that's just pure lost profit. And this, right here, is the core concept you've got to grasp. On one side, you have your theoretical cost of goods sold, or COGS. That's your perfect world number, calculated from your recipes and your sales. But then you have your actual COGS, which is reality. That's what you really spent. The space between those two numbers, that's exactly where your profits are vanishing. And how big of a deal is this really? Well, if you let it go unchecked, leakage from waste and theft can easily eat up 2 to 5 full percentage points of profit. For a hotel or restaurant, that can be the entire difference between a successful year and a failing one. It can take a brilliantly designed, profitable menu and just turn it into a money loser. So, how do we fight back? It all starts with building a solid foundation. You can't control what you can't measure, so let's get crystal clear on our baseline. The bedrock of all cost control is meticulous recipe costing. And let me be clear, this is not about guessing. It's a precise science. It's the process of calculating the exact cost, down to the penny, of every single dish that leaves your kitchen. This number becomes your theoretical cost. It's your North Star, your benchmark for performance. And this process has to be absolutely rigorous. You start with accurate measurements right from your inventory management system. Then you calculate the cost of every single ingredient. But crucially, you also have to account for reality, things like butchery yields and the normal, expected waste that happens during prep. Only then do you have a truly accurate number to measure everything against. All right, with our baseline set, we can now attack the first major leak. Let's talk about building our first control system, one that targets operational waste. This can't be a casual thing. A formal waste tracking system has to be a non-negotiable standard operating procedure. The rule is simple: nothing gets thrown away without being documented first. Every spoiled item, every mistake from the kitchen, every dish a guest sends back, it all has to be recorded. A proper waste sheet needs detail. It has to capture not just what was wasted and how much, but also the why. What was the reason? Critically, it also needs to have a dollar value attached to it and requires a manager's signature. This is how you create accountability and turn simple paperwork into powerful data. And this is where the magic happens. The data starts to talk. You see, a single waste sheet tells you about one mistake, but a whole stack of them, collected over weeks and months, that tells a story. And analyzing that data is how you go from just reacting to problems to proactively preventing them. The power of this data is that it shows you patterns. For instance, are you seeing a lot of spoilage? That's a huge red flag pointing to poor ordering or a breakdown in your first in, first out discipline. Seeing a ton of prep waste? That's a clear sign you need better staff training. Too much waste from uneaten food on plates? Your portion control standards are likely off. See? The data doesn't just show you problems, it points you directly to the solutions. Okay, on to the second major source of leakage. This is a sensitive one, and it definitely requires a multi-layered approach: theft. A strong theft prevention system uses both physical and procedural controls. So physically, that means things like controlled access to liquor rooms and freezers. Procedurally, it means using a technique called blind receiving, where the person accepting a delivery has to count everything before seeing the invoice. It forces an accurate count. It also means regular, unannounced spot checks and enforcing a separation of duties. And finally, a big one: Every single item, even a comp or a staff meal, has to be rung through the point of sale system so nothing just walks out the door. So let's bring this all home. Let's talk about why these systems are so much more than just operational tactics. They are, in fact, a core competency of modern leadership. The ability to design, implement, and manage these rigorous control systems is what separates a good manager from a great one. It is the ultimate mark of a financially savvy leader who truly understands how to protect the bottom line. Because at the end of the day, a business plan is just a promise of profitability. These systems, this proactive control over waste and theft, are what ensures that promise is actually realized. This is how you deliver on your financial goals. This is precisely the kind of advanced skill set that's critical for success at the highest levels of hospitality. Premier strategic management programs focus on these competencies because they are what truly prepare you for senior leadership. So, the final question is for you. Mastering these systems takes discipline, and it takes real attention to detail, but the payoff is absolutely immense. Are you prepared to implement the controls necessary to truly protect your profitability?